Should I buy investment property now? That's what this property education training video is all about. My name's Simon Zutshi. I'm the author of Property Magic, the Amazon #1 property bestseller. I'm the founder of the Property Investor Network with 50 meetings around the country. And I've been investing in property for 25 years. And I've actually been teaching other people like you to become successful investors since 2003. And it's a question I'm always asked, no matter what's happening in the market. People ask, should I buy investment property now? And the thing they're thinking about is now a good time to be buying investment property here in the UK? I think most people expect the property market might dip down into 2021. We expect you might have a crash. And so people say, well, hang on a minute, should I buy now? Or maybe I should wait until the prices hit the bottom. So let me give you some thoughts around that about should I buy investment property now? Is now really the right time? So here's my views. In my book, Property Magic, if you read it, you might remember I talk about the 5 golden rules. Now, I wrote Property Magic in 2007, and I've been teaching other people for about 4 years by then. And I realized that I had made a lot of mistakes in property, and I realized that many people make common mistakes in property. And I wanted to come up with some simple guidelines that we could use to help people minimize the risk of investing in property and maximize the return of investing in property. And I came up with the 5 golden rules of property investing. And these are very relevant to the question of should I buy investment property now? So golden rule number 1 is buy from motivated sellers, people for whom the speed and search of the sale is the most important thing. Golden rule number 2 is we only buy in an area of strong rental demand. Golden rule number 3 is we must make cash flow profit from the property every single month. Golden rule number 4 is we only buy property for the long term, and that's really important given the question, should I buy property investment now? And golden rule number 5 is always have a cash buffer. Now, if you think about these golden rules, people think, well, hang on, should I buy property investment now? They're thinking the value's here, the value might come down in the next 6 to 12 months. So should I wait? Because if I buy now, I might pay more than the value might be in a few months' time. Well, people think, well, does that mean I'm going to lose money? You only lose money if you sell the property you buy. If you're holding long term, which is golden rule number 4, it doesn't matter if the value's here now, you buy here and the value comes down a bit, it doesn't really matter because we believe in the long term, property prices are going to go up. Why does that happen? Well, here in the UK, we live on an island with a limited supply of accommodation and an increasing population. What that means is that over time, we have increasing birth rate, longer life expectancy, so the population is growing, but we don't have enough accommodation. So that means over the long term, rents and values of property both go up. Now, they don't always go up, they go up and they come down. It's a cyclical market, but the long-term trend in the UK is up. That's why it's a great place to invest in the UK. So with that in mind, as long as we're holding long-term, following golden rule number 4, it doesn't really matter as long as we can afford to hold the property in the meantime. So think about rule number 2 and rule number 3. We want to make sure we can easily rent it out, rule number 2, and rule number 3, it must make positive cash flow. So if you think about that, if we can always rent it out and it's making positive cash flow, even if the values come down, it doesn't matter because we're holding long term, we don't plan to sell, and we can wait for the market to come back. The people who get into difficulty when the market falls is people who've bought property where it's not making the money. In fact, they're subsidizing it, having to put money in, and then suddenly they can't afford to do that because maybe they lose their job. And suddenly it means they've got property that's costing the money, that's come down in value. They decide to sell to cut their losses, and they crystallize the loss. The only way you lose money if the market comes down is if you sell the property. If you don't sell, if you can afford to hold because it's a strong rental demand with a positive cash flow, it doesn't matter if short-term prices come down. So my answer to the question, should I buy property investment now in the UK or should I wait, is as long as you know what you're doing, as long as you're following the 5 golden rules from Property Magic, my answer would be buy now. It's easier to buy when the market's coming down, when sellers might be more open to negotiating a discount because they think it's coming down, instead of when it hits the bottom and everybody believes the market's going to come up. It's much harder to get deals when the market's coming up. It's not impossible because there's always motivated sellers if you know how to look for them, but it's harder to get discounts because most sellers have the hope and the belief that someone will come along and offer more money for their property because the market's generally going up. So rather than trying to guess the market and buy when it's low and sell when it's high, which is a concept that comes from the stock market investing, as long as you educate yourself, as long as the property stacks up and makes money for you today, my advice would be always buy the property now and then hold for the long term. So I do hope this video has been useful. If you like it, please press like. If you've got questions, please put something in the comment. If you just liked it, say you liked it in the comments. I recommend you subscribe to my YouTube channel. Click on the subscribe button, click the little bell icon. What that means is you'll get notified anytime a new video comes onto the site so you won't miss any of the valuable content that we give away. So I hope you've enjoyed this video. My name is Simon Zutshi. I encourage you to invest with knowledge, invest with skill.